Okay, so let's dive right into this incredible state at the heart of South America. We're talking about Mato Grosso, a place that is, well, it's truly a crucible, a landscape where these powerful forces of nature and economy are literally forging the future of Brazil.
Just take a look at this map. This is the only state in Brazil and one of the only places on the entire planet where three gigantic, completely different ecosystems collide. You've got the dense Amazon rainforest up north, the sprawling Cerrado savanna in the middle, and the world's largest wetland, the Pantanal, down in the southwest. Today, we're going to explore how this totally unique intersection has created a land of both immense opportunity and intense conflict.
But you know, to really get a handle on the Mato Grosso of today, we've got to go back to the beginning. And like so much of Brazil's interior, its story was forged in a fever for one thing: gold.
What's really wild about this is just the sheer speed of it all. I mean, think about it. Within just a few years of some guys finding gold flakes in a river, you have a formal town. And by 1748, the Portuguese crown sets up an entire capitania. That was a huge colonial administrative district, not just to control the gold, but just as important, to secure this remote frontier against the Spanish. So you see, it wasn't just about the gold. It was a strategic land grab.
But before that gold rush, the economy of the whole region was based on something completely different. They called them the drogas do sertão, which basically translates to forest spices. This was an economy built on getting value from the standing forest, things like cacao, natural dyes, Brazil nuts, and all sorts of medicinal oils. It was an early model of using the forest's resources that really depended on indigenous knowledge. Now hang on to this idea of a forest-based economy. It's going to be really important later.
Okay, let's jump into the first of our three worlds, the vast Amazonian rainforest that really defines the entire northern half of the state.
This chart really puts the scale into perspective. It's so easy to forget, but over half of Mato Grosso, 53.6%, is technically part of the Amazon biome. We're talking about a world of absolutely towering trees, constant high humidity, and rivers that basically act as highways through this dense jungle.
And the life here? It's just extraordinary. The climate is pure equatorial. It's hot and it's wet all year long. This is what supports those colossal Brazil nut and mahogany trees, and it's home to these iconic animals like the elusive jaguar, the almost mythical pink river dolphin, and of course, the super agile spider monkeys. It's a world just bursting with biodiversity.
All right, so now we're moving south from the rainforest and into our second world, the Cerrado. Now, this isn't a jungle. This is the most biodiverse savanna on the entire planet.
The Cerrado makes up almost 40% of the state, and it creates a completely different landscape. So, instead of that dense canopy, I want you to picture open plains and scattered woodlands with these iconic twisted tree trunks. This whole world is defined by a really powerful seasonal rhythm: a hot, rainy summer followed by a cooler, dry winter. And life here has adapted brilliantly to fire and drought. The plants have this thick, almost cork-like bark and super deep roots so they can survive the dry season fires. The fauna is just as unique. This is the land of the long-legged maned wolf, the massive giant anteater, and the ema, which is South America's largest bird.
And that brings us to our third and final world. This is a realm that's not defined by forests or savannas, but by the rhythm of water, the Pantanal. And last, but definitely not least, we have the Pantanal. Now, even though it's the smallest part of the state at just under 7%, its influence is enormous. This is the world's largest tropical wetland, basically a massive, flat basin that acts like a giant sponge, soaking up all the summer rains that fall across the region. Everything here, and I mean everything, revolves around the annual flood pulse. In the wet season, the land just disappears under this vast, shallow sea. And this cycle creates an unbelievable concentration of wildlife. We're talking about the iconic Tuiu stork, the symbol of the Pantanal, all the way to the highest density of jaguars and caimans on Earth. It's a true wildlife sanctuary. So you have these three incredible worlds all meeting in one place. The big question is, how did this unique geography give rise to Mato Grosso's modern identity as this global agricultural powerhouse? And, of course, the conflicts that come right along with it.
And the answer really lies right here, in this perfect combination of climate and geography. On the left, you've got the Cerrado's climate. It's tropical with a predictable, dependable wet season for growing, and then a dry season that's perfect for harvesting. And on the right, you have the landscape, these vast, flat plateaus and plains that are just ideal for large-scale mechanized farming. It is the perfect combination.
This perfect storm allows for an incredibly productive system. So here's how it works. Farmers plant soy right at the start of the rainy season, they harvest it early in the new year. And then, this is the amazing part, they immediately use that same exact land to plant a second crop, usually corn, which grows on the moisture that's left in the soil. This two-harvest system has turned Mato Grosso into a world leader in both soy and corn.
But this super productive model comes at a cost. Let's just look back for a second. During the rubber boom in the late 19th century, incredible wealth was generated from the standing Amazon forest. I mean, enough wealth to build this ridiculously opulent opera house right in the middle of the jungle in Manaus. It was a symbol that you could get fabulously rich from a living forest.
And today, well, that number, 57.7 million hectares, that's just the area of pasture land for cattle in the Brazilian Amazon as of 2022. The entire economic model has flipped. Now, immense wealth comes from clearing the forest for cattle and crops, and this creates a fundamental, unavoidable conflict between production and preservation.
So, the crucial point is this. Mato Grosso, this crucible of biomes, now finds itself at a huge economic and environmental crossroads.
And here are the two paths forward, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you have the current model. Just keep expanding commodity agribusiness, focusing on an extractive economy that, well, leads to high deforestation. On the other side, there's this emerging vision for a new bioeconomy, finding real economic value in the standing forest through things like agroecology and the sustainable use of the region's just unbelievable biodiversity.
This quote right here just captures the heart of the issue perfectly. The future of this huge region is actively being disputed. It's a contest, a struggle, between that dominant extractive model and this newer idea that the greatest value might actually lie in keeping the forest alive.
Which brings us to the final critical question. The world needs what Mato Grosso produces, but it also desperately needs the climate regulation and the biodiversity that its ecosystems provide. So will this crucible forge a new, sustainable path? Or will the pressure for production end up consuming the very natural wonders that make this place unlike any other on Earth?